Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss on audit procedures and audit evidence. Let's get started.
Do you know what is audit procedures? It is a method and techniques used by the auditor to gather and evaluate evidences.
Let's proceed with terms used in audit procedures.
These are terms used in audit procedures. 1. Inspection. This involves having the audit staff examining records, document, or tangible assets. 2. Inquiry and information, which seeking information and getting confirmation from both inside and outside company. 3. Recalculation and reperformance. This is to check the accuracy of the items in various documents, also evidence that gather the technique performed by the auditor during audit planning stage. 4. Observation. Observing client staff performing a process in relation to area of audit's concern. Lastly is analytical procedures. Identifying and investigating unusual fluctuation and items, especially in the bank statement and income statement.
Next is test of control. Test of control is an audit procedures to test the effectiveness of a control used by a client entity to prevent or detect material misstatements. There are 3 categories of test of control. Firstly is reperformance. Auditors may initiate a new transaction to see which control are used by the clients and the effectiveness of those controls. Secondly is observation. Auditors may observe a business process in action and in particular the control elements of the process. Lastly is inspection. Auditors may examine business documents for approval signatures or reviews checkmark which indicates that control have been performed.
Okay. Now it's time to explain on substantive procedures.
Substantive procedures provide evidence about the existence of misstatement in account balance. Substantive procedures also divided into 3 categories. Number 1 is analytical procedures. It is a study of relationship and comparison between data. Number 2 is test of details of classes of transactions where no money error occurs in the account. For example, capital expenditure is wrongly recorded in revenue expenditure. Lastly is test of details of account balances and disclosures which involved examining support for the closing balance directly. For instance, confirming account receivables directly to the customer.
Let's move to audit evidence. Audit evidence is the information used by the auditor in arriving at the conclusions by which the audit opinion is based.
These are 3 sources of audit evidence.
Sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Audit engagement requires the auditor to form a judgment whether the evidence is sufficient and appropriate. Sufficient is the quantity of the evidence obtained while appropriate is the quality, the reliability and relevance information. There are 4 characteristics of persuasiveness of evidence. 1. Relevance. 2. Reliability. 3. Sufficiency and 4. Timeliness. Why is audit evidence are persuasive rather than conclusive?
1. Time and cost constraint. Sampling is used by auditors to gather evidence. 2. The auditors are not there as the event unfolds, thus evidence are not perfectly reliable. 3. The client personnel might have left the company.
Let's us proceed with the last part of audit evidence, which is types of audit evidence.
These are 7 types of audit evidence. Physical examination. It is inspection or count by auditor of tangible asset. Observation. The auditor witnesses the physical activities of client and also focused in client business. Documentation. There are 2 types of documentation which are internal and external documentation. Confirmation. Receipt of a written or orally response from an independent third party. Inquiries of client. It is to obtain information from the clients in response to the question. Analytical procedures. It usually occurs when significant differences are not expected but do exist. Reperformance. Rechecking the sample of the computations and transfer of information also to see whether the information was consistently in the right accounting record. That's all for today. Thank you and have a good day.